Long before Clint Eastwood became the steely-eyed face of Western justice and Hollywood grit, he waded into cinematic history with a blink-and-you'll-miss-it role in a monster movie sequel that time nearly forgot. Released in 1955, Revenge of the Creature was not only a follow-up to Creature from the Black Lagoon, but also Eastwood's first step into a film career that would span decades. While the film is often dismissed as a campy relic of the 3D craze, it holds a unique place in horror history, equal parts charming, strange, and surprisingly influential. A sequel that swims against the current. Revenge of the Creature emerged during a golden age of Universal monsters, when sequels were a studio staple. Picking up after the events of the original film, this installment sees the prehistoric Gillman captured and transported from the Amazon to a Florida aquarium, where spotted, studied, and ultimately infuriated. The storyline shifts from jungle terror to aquarium oddity, with elements of romance and unintentional comedy woven throughout. For much of its runtime, the film blends fish tank science, awkward flirtations, and goggle-clad underwater sequences. The Gillman's growing affection for researcher Helen Dobson, Lori Nelson, introduces an oddly touching subplot, while his eventual rampage offers the revenge promised in the title, though it takes over half the movie to arrive. Eastwood's entrance, a tiny role, a giant legacy. It's in this unlikely creature feature that Clint Eastwood makes his unassuming debut. Appearing briefly as a fumbling lab technician, Eastwood steals a few seconds of screen time and delivers a line about missing mice with the same serious tone he would later use to ask punks if they felt lucky. Though uncredited, his moment on screen was memorable enough to warrant a reference in Back to the Future Part 3, where a Revenge of the Creature poster appears in the background, an Easter egg for film buffs and time travelers alike. Surprisingly, Eastwood wasn't done with monsters in 1955. That same year, he also showed up in Tarantula, another sci-fi horror flick featuring oversized arachnids and atomic age anxiety. 2 monster movies, 1 year, and 1 rising star. A creature, a culture, a carnival of camp. Though Revenge of the Creature didn't receive the acclaim of its predecessor, it helped define a generation of aquatic horror. Released in 3D, a novelty at the time, the film tried to lure audiences with visual tricks and underwater sequences that made the Gillman seem more lifelike, or at least more reach out and grab you. The movie would later find a second life in cult circles, thanks in part to Mystery Science Theater 3000, which riffed on its bizarre dialogue, odd pacing, and genre tropes with comedic glee. From this lens, the film's legacy morphed into something uniquely beloved, a so-bad-it's-good-time capsule of mid-century monster mania. Why it still matters 70 years later. What makes Revenge of the Creature endure isn't just its creature effects or Eastwood's cameo, it's the strange, enduring magic of cinematic evolution. A minor monster sequel launched one of cinema's most iconic careers, proving that every legend starts somewhere, often quietly and unexpectedly. Movies, like people, are sometimes defined by their smallest moments. Whether it's Eastwood fumbling in a lab coat or a prehistoric fishman staring longingly through aquarium glass, those fleeting seconds can ripple through time. In hindsight, Revenge of the Creature is more than pulp horror. It's a fascinating artifact of genre cinema, a quirky launchpad for a future legend, and a wild relic of a bygone era that dared to dream big, even in murky water.